Hi there, this is Nicole Spohr and welcome back to my channel. Today I have another STAMPtember video to share with you, showcasing the exclusive limited edition set from Brutus Monroe called Bounty of Wreaths. This actually is a 6x8 stamp set that has 3 different wreaths in it. I decided to focus on the Halloween wreath today, but there's also one great for fall or Thanksgiving and then a beautiful Christmas wreath. I'll show you the whole set here in just a second. We're going to do a little spotlight stenciling. This is the stamp set. It is a beautiful 6x8 stamp set, 3 big wreaths, lots and lots of different sentiments you can use, and there is even a companion die set available so you can get the stamp die set or just the stamps on their own. I am going to stamp this wreath on some Simon Says Stamp Fog cardstock trimmed to 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. We're going to do a super simple technique called spotlight stenciling, where we're going to use a masking stencil to just kind of spotlight the center portion of the card, which is going to help draw your eye in, but still keep it flat and no masking required, which I totally love. We'll also be coloring with Copic markers on a colored cardstock. Yes, this is a very light cardstock, but it's still colored, and I love the results that you get with that. I almost feel like it's got that nice moody feeling that I want for a Halloween card. I'm going to put a little post-it tape on the back of my panel, and then I'm going to take the stencil and place it over my background panel. You can see that there's guides there that help you line it up perfectly every time. That post-it tape is going to help hold the stencil in place. You could also use pixie spray if you want to, or something similar. Next, I'm going to take a blender brush, and I am going to take Hickory Smoke and Black Soot Distress inks and very, very lightly, very gently ink around the edges. I'm not pulling that color clear to the center, but we're creating a spotlight effect. So just gently around the edges with my Hickory Smoke first, and then we'll deepen and darken those edges with a little Black Soot. This is a super fun technique and would look good in lots of different ink colors. I wanted to go with a moody feeling because I feel like this is kind of a grown-up Halloween image. So many are a little bit more whimsical and fun, so anytime there's something that's a little bit more of a grown-up feeling, I like to go the moody route with that. Now this is a very detailed wreath. In fact, all 3 are very detailed. So it's going to take a little bit of coloring. I'm going to speed the coloring up to save us some time today because it is a lot, but I know you guys kind of like to see the coloring for the most part. That's it for the spotlight stenciling, and that is done. So now we're just going to color everything in. And I did color in a couple pumpkins kind of off camera to see if I liked this before I committed to doing the whole thing, just in case I needed to start over before I had done too much coloring. And I definitely like the color combination, so we're going to give it a go, and I'll show the remaining 2 pumpkins here in a minute. They're going to be colored in the same color combination. We've got some greenery with YG95 and 97. We're going to have lots of leaves in this wreath. Those could be anything from YR 31 and 23 to 24, 27, R 56 and 59, E43 and E44. I will be showing the marker colors across the top of the screen, as well as listing them in the corresponding blog post for this video. There's some little acorns in this wreath. I mean, it is just so detailed. I will say even when I first stamped this, I didn't really see the acorns until I started coloring, and then I was like, oh, there are acorns in this. The detailing is just so phenomenal. Definitely what you expect from Brutus Monroe. Really detailed, incredible images. Little witch hat. Another image that it didn't like jump out at me was the broom that's over here on the left side. So I saw the witch hat, but the broom I never really saw that. And so it's a fun little piece to this wreath as well. Some cool grays for the wreath. and then some oranges for the brim of the, or the little band around the hat, and then some nice yellow Y35 for the gold buckle. Now I like a little blue violet 31 and 34 for the bottom of bat wings, and then we'll pull in some cool grays. It gives it a little bit of a lighter effect and just is a great color for the inside of those bat wings. I found it a little tricky to color around the eyes and the fangs, and so I ended up, I colored around them the best I could, but some of the markers bled into those areas, and I definitely didn't want them to be dark gray. So what I'm going to end up doing is taking a white pen and adding the detail back in, and then a black pen for the eyes to add the pupil back in. I'm also using a white pen for the eyes on the jack-o'-lanterns. Felt like they needed a little bit more highlighted, and like I said, they're the grown-up Halloween type of images, and so I don't mind the little bit scarier feel to them for this. Not that it's super scary, but I hope you guys know what I mean by that. It's not cutesy, I guess. So the reds really are phenomenal on this. Definitely doesn't give it a Christmas feel or anything like that. I'm using deeper, darker reds. Love how these look, especially with yellow and orange and brown leaves as well. I found it easiest with such a detailed image. At first I thought I'll do all the jack-o'-lanterns, then I'll do all the greenery, and I'll do all the red leaves. That's kind of hard because I didn't want to have two of the same color of leaf right next to each other for the most part if I could help it. So it's kind of easier for me to start in an area and kind of work my way around. So I had started working my way kind of down that right side, and now I'm kind of back up at the top and working my way down the left side. It's really whatever you want to do there, but I do think it helps to kind of start in one area and work your way out from there. Add in some nice little red around here, and then we will color in that broom here in just a second. I am not going to list the colors anymore either. I've listed them up to this point, and again, you can find those numbers on my blog post because it's simply repetition of the leaf colors, of the acorn colors, and all of that. So the last one I'm going to list is the broom. So I did the handle with E43, 44, and 47. The broom itself, E55 and 57, with Y35 around the little band. And then that spider web and spider tucked into the wreath is just so stinking clever and cute. I love everything about this. It's really such a phenomenal stamp set. They always bring such detailed images to us. Last year's stamp set from Brutus Monroe was one of my favorites. Really, really fun to color. Here's that last jack-o'-lantern. YR31 is the base. Then we're just feathering in YR27 and 24 so that they all have that great texture to them. Little white detailing, and then fill in the rest of these little leaves down here around the bottom of the wreath. Now, once we have our wreath all colored in, we are ready to do finishing touches. And for me today, I'm going to be doing super, super simple. I will also tell you this card took me 45 minutes from start to finish to create. For me, that is fast. That is like no time at all. I simply stamped it, stenciled, colored, the whole thing, embellished, and it was done. That is really, really fast. So if you want to try something like this, there's no masking, it's one layer. I love it. I love a card that looks like it took hours and hours to make, but yet came together in no time at all. I've picked out the sentiment I want to use. I'm going to go ahead and take some Nuvo crystal drops. I am using those in Copper Penny, Ebony Black, and Liquid Mercury. I really love Copper Penny. It's got that great orange-ish tint to it, which I like for Halloween. And then of course the Liquid Mercury is some nice gray, which kind of goes with our whole background feel. And Ebony and Black. So we've got our orange and black for Halloween, both represented. And I just like the little teeny tiny droplets around the wreath. They add a nice little bit of embellishment to the card. Finally, we have our sentiment, and I chose to use, there's 3 different ones kind of for the Halloween. Really quick, I'm going to take you through the Christmas ones. There's Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, Season's Greetings, Happy Holidays, and May Your Days Be Merry and Bright. So 4 different sentiments for the Christmas one. For our fall themed wreath, we have Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice and Thankful for You. And then for Halloween, there's Trick or Treat, A Haunting We Will Go, If You've Got It, Haunt It, which is what I used, and Best Witches. So I think those are all very, very fun, very clever. We're going to stamp our sentiment on a 1 shade darker cardstock. This is Slate cardstock, or 2 shades darker, I guess I should say. Slate cardstock from Simon Says Stamp, which is a nice dark gray. And yes, normally you'd think Nicole is going to stamp and emboss in white. I actually stamped and embossed with antique gold, no, regular gold, pardon me, regular gold on this dark gray, and I love how it looks. I think that the gold ties into the colors of the wreath perfectly. We're going to pop that up with a little foam adhesive. So this is the only dimensional part of our card today, is the foam adhesive on the back of our little banner. I did die cut this with a nested banner die. You guys probably know already that I love those nested banners dies. And then this whole panel is going to be attached to a white top fold card base to complete this Spotlight stenciling card. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this Halloween themed card featuring Spotlight stenciling and the Brutus Monroe STAMPtember 2020 limited edition stamp set called Bounty of Wreaths. The supplies I used to create my card are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos featuring Simon Says Stamp STAMPtember that you might be interested in. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell to never miss a new card making video. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.